What's going on, everybody? I'm Bobby with Tech360.tv to talk about the world's first quad camera smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy A9. But is that all there is to this phone? Is just 4 cameras, actually 5. Well, here's 5 things you need to know about it. First and foremost, let's talk about cameras. 4 cameras in the back of it, 1 on the front, because you gotta have that selfie camera, right? But let's concentrate on the back first. You've got the 8 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto. You got the 24 megapixel, which is the main camera at f1.7, and you get the 5 megapixel camera, which is your depth camera for depth sensing. And on the front of it, 24 megapixel selfie sensor. So you're thinking, wow, the images out of this camera must be amazing. Not quite. No, it's okay. It's gonna get you decent photos, but you're not gonna be blown away. Sometimes less is more. And but I mean, I gotta give Samsung credit for trying it. They tried it, 4 cameras in it, actually 5. And I do gotta give it to them. One thing though, is the UI on the camera is actually not too bad, because it's very easy to switch through different focal lengths. So you can go your ultra wide, you got your main camera, and you got your telephoto right there. And of course, the depth sensing kicks into play when you're doing live focus, and then the front-facing camera. But here's the thing with the front-facing camera that I think needs to be said. You're seeing a lot of 24 megapixel selfie sensors. You're thinking, wow, I'm getting a beautiful selfie shot. No. I think whatever sensor these companies are buying for the 24 megapixel just isn't up to snuff, because I noticed that the selfies on the Note 9, on the S9, on the Pixel 3, on the iPhone XS Max are better than what I'm seeing here. So I just want to point that out. But there you go. In low light conditions, the camera is okay only, not fantastic. There's no night mode on it, so it is what it is. All right, let's talk about design for a moment here. Now, this is a glass front and glass back. It's a 6.3-inch display, but it's comfortable in the hands. It's not too wide. It's not an odd shape. You don't have a notch. There's no notch on this, which is a good thing. And it's quite slim. Now, I have read some reviews that said that the build quality is not really good. It feels fine to me. I mean, is it as good as, let's say, the S9 or the Note 9? Maybe there's differences. I mean, it's still got that curved screen a little bit here. I mean, you feel a little bit of the bezels on the side, which isn't a bad thing because it's easier to grip. And also you can tell in the colors of this, actually, you know how some of the Chinese manufacturers are doing this gradient design? Well, that's sort of what Samsung's doing with this. It's hard to see on this black one because there's a lot of fingerprints. You got a pink one here for the A7. I wouldn't do the pink. That's just me. You might like pink. I'm not a pink guy. But to get rid of the fingerprints, they have a plastic case inside the box. I love plastic cases inside the box. More manufacturers should do this. It costs them nothing to do it, and at least it's a little bit of protection until you get yourself a really nice case. Let's talk about the display. 6.3-inch display, vibrant, it's sharp, you got deep blacks, it's AMOLED. Samsung's known for great displays. There's no difference in this at all. It might not be as high resolution as their flagships, but you know what? You're not going to notice from day-to-day usage really at all. It really is a good display. Let's talk about connectivity for a moment now. There's some cool things in this phone that is very unique. First, you have a dual SIM card slot, but you can also put an SD card in there at the same time. You're running 2 SIM cards. That's rare. You don't see that all the time. Usually you have to take out one of the SIM cards to put the SD card in this, but with the A9, you can have all 3 in the phone. I gotta applaud Samsung for that. Next, you got a 3800 milliamp battery in this. Fast charging with USB-C, you got a headphone jack. Samsung still believes in the headphone jack. Not many people out there do. Samsung believes in it. So what is this lacking? First off, it's no wireless charging. You got a glass back, and it's for show and fingerprints because you can't charge. Processor inside of this thing, you've got a Exynos processor. It's not the fastest on the market, but it's mid-tier when you're comparing it to the OnePlus 6T and the Poco phone out there and other mid-tier phones that really have a faster processor. And then you kind of think that with Samsung, and because they make so many great chipsets and everything else, you think they would put some power into this. I mean, it's not bad. You can get through all your apps, no problem, but I was expecting a little bit more. And 3800 milliamp battery, like I said, which I was expecting a little bit more from Samsung for the size of the phone. I mean, especially with all the other competition out there, 3800 feels a little bit like it's not quite there. And also, it's only running Android 8.0 Oreo. And that's not good. We're getting into 2019. We should be on Pie. Why are we on Oreo still? And the thing about Samsung is that they're not known for the fastest updates when it comes to the Android operating system. So who knows if you'll even see Android Pie on this thing. You might not even see it. This just might be what you're stuck with. So I felt that out of the gate, being that they launched this phone towards the end of the year, they could have put Android Pie on it. I think that would have been a much more enticing thing to have on the phone. But otherwise, it's a decent phone. I mean, I would say that in Singapore, the price is around 700 Sing dollars. I mean, street price is gonna be less than that. Would I recommend buying it? I think there's other options out there, to be frank with you. I think Samsung did such a great job with the Note 9 and with the S9 and the S9 Plus. I thought to myself, why bring out the A9? Why? What sense does it make? I mean, I understand everybody wants to get into that mid-tier smartphone category, but either you bring out some muscle in it or just don't bring it out at all, because the prices on the street for the Galaxy S9 have dropped and they're quite comparable to this. A couple $100 more, you got yourself an S9. Anyway, my thoughts on the A9 is that it's a decent mid-range smartphone. It's not the best out there. If you really need 4 cameras, this is your only option. Otherwise, you can check out the S9 or the Note 9. Anyway, leave your comment suggestions below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. We love subscribers. Feel free to comment, ask us questions. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Follow us on Facebook. Until the next one, take care.